But yeah, so as of right now, I actually have to let me write these down so I do not forget real quick. This is a new illustration, so let me take the binder away real quick. Just real quick. So as of right now, I have, let's think about all the games. So the first game I ever created was Cosmos TCG. And then after that, I started writing the story around it. So I wrote the story for it. So then I wrote Magia, the Magia storyline. So this is the timeline that goes underneath it. But that's not a game. That's not playable. But then I realized, like, while I was making the story and while I was world building, that I ended up creating another game called Pavicia, which is kind of like a gambling game that takes place within the world of Magia. So this is another game. So this is game number 2. Let's put the 2 next to that. And this is game number 1. So then I created that game and I was like, okay, that's done. All right. And then so this game is also done, basically. I even made all of the pieces myself. It's kind of like a gambling game, but you use like gemstones and or like crystal fragments. And it's kind of like, you like put everything in a cup. It's like Yahtzee, but really, really not. It's like Yahtzee, but way better because there's gambling on the line, you know? What if I'm a boy, then can I be a magical girl? Guilty, we've talked about this. Magical girl is a gender neutral term. Let's see. And if it not, it should be. So then after that, that's when I think this is about the time that I ended up making, because I was working through all the spells and I was like, oh, well, what if I could use them outside of it? And then that's when the very first TTRPG became reality, because the TTRPG, I was like, what if I made the storyline playable? Like, what if I made the storyline playable, right? You're a magic panda, you're a magical panda, different universe. Do you, bro? So this takes the story and it turns it into, like, there's multiple stories, and it turns it into something that's actual playable, and you can like be one of the magic girls there, and you like you get to talk to and interact with a lot of the NPCs or a lot of the characters in the story of Magia, and yeah, that exists. And then I was like, that's too complicated, because while I was making it, I ended up accidentally creating, I went very, 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 very deep with the TTRPG. Like, the world building is, wow, you know, it's big. It's really intense, and I was like, nobody's really gonna want to play that, so why don't I make a less intense version? So then, out of nowhere, just Cosmic Cure just kind of popped out of my brain while I was working on this. And Cosmic Cure is way easier, it's much more dumbed down, and like I said before, it lets you create your own characters in like a much easier way. Like it's like anybody can play this. Like anybody can play this for like 4 hours and they're done, kind of thing. But like Magia TTRPG is more like Dungeons and Dragons, where you'll be playing it like over multiple sessions, like over multiple weeks, kind of thing, and you level up or grow and stuff like that. But Cosmic Cure is like cute, sweet, short, to the point. If you wanted to, you could do upwards of probably like 3 sessions before you beat the bad guy or the big bad evil guy, but it wouldn't really require any more than that because of how just simple it is, basically. And then while all that was going on, there was and then Bunny Alchemy. Oop, I accidentally pressed a button. So Bunny Alchemist kind of came out. I'm trying to not, writing on these things are so hard. It sounds like D&D. It is. So this is like D&D serious. It's more like that. And then this is more one-shotty, you know, like just get your friends together, go be magic girls, kick the fuck out of something, you know, and you're done. And then Bunny Alchemists is just like this, like it's just like a quick board game, like you can play it in less than, it's like a 30-minute game and then you put it away, you know? Done. And I don't think I've created any other games outside of that. Hold on, let me think about that real quick. Let me look at my game wall. I have a shelf on my wall where I keep all of the games that I have created, so they don't go anywhere. But yeah, no. This is it. So this is 5 different games that I've created since 2020. Yeah, like since 2020. Like that. This one came out. So I started making this one in August of 2020, and then since then, we are now 2 years later. It's 2 years, 1 month later since I started creating Cosmothea TCG. And not only have I written an entire story based off of it, and not just stories, I have also written, like, there's a poem, there's a short story, there's a fable, there's a couple of side stories. There's a lot in here. Like, this is where, like, this is like the big bang. Like, everything kind of goes from here. And even if you really want to get into it, this world is where a lot of this stuff takes place. Like I said, Pavicia was a game I made that's just inside of the story. Like it wasn't really supposed to be a game, like an actual playable game. And I was like, wait, what if it is playable? Because people want to know the rules. And then I was like, you can even play Pavicia in the TTRPG if you really wanted to. But that's a little extra. It's a little extra. But if you want to be extra, be extra. I don't care. But this is basically what kind of like spawned everything. Like Cosmic Cure technically takes place in the Magia universe, and I wish I could talk to you guys about all the spoilers that are in the story, but I really can't. I really can't, unfortunately. I would love to, but then you wouldn't play it, or you wouldn't watch it, or you wouldn't read it. Long time no see. What have you been up to the last 2 years? I made 5 games. Oh gosh. So not only have I created 5 games, when it comes to Cosmothea TCG, I am still making cards for that game. So for Cosmothea TCG, I have created over 300 different cards. Yeah, let me write that down. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah. So I have made over 300 different cards. Actually, as of like right now, it's close to about 350. But every single one of them is unique. They're all cataloged and they all do different things, except for the one Xiaoyan, because I accidentally made a super rare that did the exact same thing as this one other spell, but that is okay. I will fix it later. That's the only time where things kind of cross over, but it's fine. It's fine. I'll just make one more power. I'll just make one super more powerful. I've made over 300 different cards, and since then, in those 300 different cards, there are 2 starter decks. There are 2 starter decks and 1 expansion. I'm writing sideways. Please forgive me. I don't care. Now looking at this, it seems a little, oh god, she's cracked, you know? Like, it seems a little like she's kind of scary. She's scaring me, bro. So that's 2 starter decks and 1 expansion with all of that. And I have, speaking of that, I have some news for you guys. I have some news. Back to the binder. So that 1 expansion is the heroic expansion, and it was called, so hold on, let me start from the beginning. So there's 2 starter decks. One of them is based around the main character of the Magia story, and the other one is based off of her rivals in that same story. So there's that. And then I was like, you know what, I want to expand on that world and kind of follow her through her like journey, and I want to turn her journey into like a playable games as well. And so that's where the expansion comes in. So the very first expansion, as you know, there are 10 elements in Cosmothea TCG. So I took one of those elements and I took a bunch of heroic cards, and that's where I made like 60 cards and got to like 320. Those 60 cards are all part of the heroic expansion, basically. So I made those, and that's the expansion. I have decided to make another expansion that I just started on. I've had it in the works for a while, but I didn't know which element to go and choose from and kind of like base it off of and work around. But I decided to make another expansion that I just started working on today. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm running sideways. I'm so sorry. and it is going to be based off of water. Can't. Right. Here we go. Let's do it correctly. The fact that I have to turn my head sideways to write straight is just everything you need to know about me. So it's based off of water. Oh, that's shitty. I was doing better when I wrote sideways. Yeah. And I have already, I don't have it on me right now. It is literally behind me. But it already has 11 Magis. So it's like 11 Magis plus like 5 items plus like 3 familiars and like 2 spells. So 16 plus 5, that's 21 cards that I've already created, or am in the process of creating for that expansion. So that'll bring us up to almost 400 cards, or we're closer to about 360, 370 cards in total. And then once I actually flesh out the expansion, then it'll be like a solid 400. I'll be honest. I'll be honest. So let's see, that'll bring us to like after I am done with after I am done with the water expansion, which is called, I have it written here. Aqua Surprise. Yeah. Dumb name, but I don't really care. I think it's great. Yeah. But yes, Aqua Surprise. Yes, I have an expansion plan for every single element in the game. So, you know, there's that. Will every expansion be as large as the heroic expansion? Fuck no. I don't have that kind of time. Right? And I am but one person. But I know that after I'm done with the water expansion, and I say water because water and ice desperately needed more cards. Overall, like I have a spreadsheet laying out how many cards I have and what type they are, what element they are, and what they do. And I put all the data together, and I realized that like water, heroic, and ice were really struggling, as well as psychic, but we'll get there because psychic is kind of overpowered, honestly. But yeah, so I have an expansion plan for every single one, and it's less just to make the game bigger, and it's more to make that element more viable against existing cards. Because as we saw in some of the play tests, Celestial is pretty fucking busted, but it's meant to be that way. But if you build it a certain way, oh man, I already have the ban list ready. Terraforma expansion, boom. Actually, what is Earth called? Blessed Terra. Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. I might change that. I don't really like it. It's just what I came up with at the time. It might change. Who knows? You know. But yeah, so yeah. When you look at it like that, it's a little troubling, but also very cool. So yeah, like take a look at that. 5 games under my belt, and one of them that is continuing to be fleshed out to this day. Suck it, losers. I'm just kidding. Please help. Please send help. No, don't. But actually, if anyone wants to help, please do. I don't know graphic design, and I just, as you can see, I can barely write straight, and it takes me like 10 years to draw anything. Which is why a lot of the cards that I have don't have like art. They have a lot of text for what they actually do, but they don't really have any art. Some of them do, and they look really, really good because I tried really, really hard, but it took a really, really long time. So, because I don't draw a lot, you know? So yeah, so that is that. So now you guys are all caught up with the gaming journey that I have been working on. If it is a lot, it is okay. When this VOD is over, you can go back and you can listen again.